Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Health is Wealth. I am your host, Shabnam Riaz. Today we are going to be talking about a very important topic. We're going to be talking about emotional health. What is emotional health? Why is it so important? And what impact does it have on our physical and mental health as well? So we're here today at IMP and we are going to be talking to Dr. Khalid Mehmood, who is a life, relationship and leadership coach. So let's go inside, meet him and his team and see what we can talk about today. Walaikum salam, how are you? Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Dr. Khalid?
I'm good. How are you?
Very nice to see you.
Same here.
And lovely office you have and lovely setup.
Thank you so much.
So we, as I said in my introduction, we're going to be talking about emotional health.
Okay.
Tell me about the work you are doing.
I'm also doing on emotional health. That's what my work is. You can call me a therapist. You can call me a coach, you can call me counselor, because I am a life, relationship and leadership coach. So I coach people, I counsel them, I coach them. Sometimes I hold their hand and let them walk in their life.
Oh, that's a lovely way to put it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I think that in Pakistan, counseling, therapy, it's hard to come by. And to find somebody good who can help you, it's really important.
It is important. It is important. There are many people working in this field, by the way. But the issue is that people are not conversant with this field. If you go in other countries, in those countries, people are not reluctant to take emotional health or mental health issues. And they're not, they are not reluctant to discuss and take the professional help. They will talk. They will ask someone to help them. In our country, this is...
It's a bit of a taboo, it's a bit of a reluctance, they don't believe in it. So that's true. So we are going to talk about the importance of emotional well-being and what impact it has on the rest of you. Very, very important things are going to be discussed by our expert here today. So let's follow him into the studio.
Please go.
Okay, Dr. Khalid, so here we are in your lovely studio. I must say I'm very impressed. And it looks like you put a lot of effort into this. As we are talking about this huge subject, emotions, it's something that every human being has. We are known as sort of like emotional people as well. We are very passionate about many things. A normal conversation can turn into an argument very quickly, shows how sort of like, emotionally charged we are in a way. Please tell us about our region of the world, Pakistan, and how important it is for a person to be aware of their emotional health.
Beautiful question. Okay, let me start with this one thing, that the emotional issues or emotional dilemma or emotional talk, it is not related to any particular religion. It is all over the world. Every human on this planet has the same system of emotions to work, to start with this. But there are few countries, there are few regions in which they understand the importance of EQ or emotional stability. Unfortunately, in our region, this thing lacks. So to start with this thing, that in our religion, the region, the issue is that people are not aware about the importance of EQ or emotional stability. They're not even aware that how their emotional instability can impact their not only personal life, their health, their relatives, their family, their career, their profession, their relationship. And if you ask me that what is that one thing which can change the course of your life from this place to this place or this to this, that is one answer, that is your ability to understand emotional intelligence.
Imagine such a huge, you have identified
That's the one
something
line.
that is so important,
That's it.
yet we lack awareness.
Yes.
And that's why we're having today's program.
I'm very happy because of that we are talking about this thing. And someone has started talking about this thing. So I would love to answer all your questions.
We can't wait to sort of, start that conversation flowing.
Yeah.
So emotions, as we said, that it's so important to be able to control your emotions, or what is it, to handle them or to understand them, to be able to calm oneself. Because, you see in many situations, especially in our family setups, we see that, you usually the husband of the house or whatever, and the man of the house, and there will be this sort of label that, oh no, he's going to be angry about this, he's going to be angry about this, don't do this, don't do that, whatever. And it seems that, again, as you identified so rightly and correctly, that affects the balance of the family life.
True.
So how does a person, number one, understand that there is something wrong?
Let me start with the chemistry of emotions first. Once you will understand what is the chemistry behind this emotional thing, then it will be very easy to handle it or whatever you want to do with that. So first of all, you understand that whatever we think, we speak. Whatever we speak, we do. Whatever we do, we make it a habit. Whatever our habit is, that is our personality. And whatever our personality is, that is our destiny. So thing came back to what we think. So at the first place, and we think, we feel. Whatever we feel, we express. So we have just come to a very narrow place that how should you think? So I say, think before thinking.
Ah,
Right?
very, very interesting.
Yes.
Think before thinking. Now,
Think
how many people
before
say that?
Thinking. How many people you know that they are into a thinking process? They are not thinking anything, by the way. They are just running their previous program.
Wow.
If you are thinking something and you are claiming something, you're not thinking, by the way.
What do you mean by previous
You
program?
are already programmed. You have a certain database in your mind, right? So whatever you are thinking, you are running a habit of your thinking. So it is said that 99% people don't think. And 1% of the people think that they are thinking.
But nobody's thinking. So it's just 1%.
It is not.
No.
1% are thinking that they are thinking. So it means that they are also not thinking. Because
That's a sad message for humanity.
that's what I learned from somewhere. Actually, what I want to tell you is that we think according to our programming and habits of thinking, the way we have been programmed to think. That if somebody is bad in your eyes, so he's bad. You will never challenge this thought. That why I am saying that somebody is bad. Has anyone ever asked a question from himself that what I am thinking, by the way? No one does that. That is why we say that people are not thinking. Thinking means that you think rationally. Thinking means that you should be in a present moment and you know what I am thinking. Once we don't know what I am thinking, we go into a feeling. When we go into a certain feeling, we create emotions. And whenever we are in a certain emotion, we express it. We might express it in the words, we might express through body language, or we might express in the shape of face expressions. But we are expressing. And that is the one thing that brings the result. There are consequences what we speak. There are consequences what we express. If right now, if I am expressing to you, if I express in a negative way, so I'm going to get something from you in return. True? If I give you a wrong body language, if I give you a wrong words even, if I give you a wrong expression, if I give you a wrong face expression, so I'm going to get the consequences of that. So you now put this idea in your any area of life, in your family, whatever you are talking whatever you are thinking. And if you are not habitual of thinking in a very rational way, so it means that you're going to do something wrong with somebody. Maybe your partner, your children, your father, your mother, your family. And you're going to lose something. So that is the basic, fundamental issue of our people, that we are not aware of that how to think and how to direct our emotions. So your question about that we need to handle them, no, you don't need to even handle your emotions. You don't need to block your emotions. You don't need to delete your emotions. You don't need to do anything about your emotions. At the first place, if you are emotionally intelligent, you will create emotions.
Very important point.
Whatever emotions you need, you will create those. You are a machine to create emotions. You're not a machine to handle emotions. At the first place, if I have brought up a wrong emotion, how the hell I can handle it is there. It is knocking at the door. Enemy is at the door, what can I do about it? So at the first place, we should understand how to create the right emotion.
So what about an emotion, that's so interesting, because creating an emotion for yourself, I wouldn't have thought that. I just would have thought that,
this is emotional awareness.
An emotion is something that comes from a trigger. It comes from a situation, this is what I would think, or something somebody has said to you or behaved with you, or a memory or something like that. But that is amazing, to create an emotion.
It is because you're not aware of this chemistry. That is why I started that, let me tell you the chemistry of emotion, from where it comes. It comes from your existing programming, database, whatever you call it.
Okay.
It is coming out of that.
So how do we create emotions? That's fascinating.
It is reprogram yourself.
How?
Isn't it?
Do we have a button for that?
Yes, there are tools, there are techniques to reprogram yourself. There is a certain amount of time you need to put on yourself, number one. There are certain things, there are certain tools, there are certain practices, there are certain mind exercises, there are certain habits which you have to recreate, and you will get the different results. It is possible. If we are unable to do it, it does not mean it doesn't exist. There is an electricity here in this room which is running all these lights. If he is unable to put on any of the light, he cannot say that electricity doesn't exist. He can only say that electricity is there, but I don't know how to use it. So reprogramming, creating emotions, changing your thinking is possible. If you cannot do it, it doesn't mean that it cannot be done.
Okay.
So this is the answer, that if you will start thinking with the different perception, things will change. If you start thinking in a different way, the result will change. So your first step is already, congratulations, you have already taken a first step to change.
That is monumental. To think that, the thinking, because how many people do think about what they're thinking or where it's coming from? It's usually a reaction, isn't it? So how do you stop from being a reactionary person? You
have to, first of all, I'm very, again, I get happy when I talk about it. You understand? There is a conscious, there is an unconscious mind. Conscious mind is just like your RAM of a computer. Whatever you're talking, whatever you're doing, whatever you're speaking, it is just giving you the data to complete your sentence complete your work or everything. But whatever your emotions are, what are your feelings are, what all your body has to do, it is unconscious. It is already there. It is programmed there. Now, it is something to make it more easy. There is an office, a store where there are lots of files are stacked. There are few files which are in front, there are more of the files which are in behind. To take care of certain things and everything will be okay. I don't enter in your territory.
Don't pose as a threat?
Don't pose as a threat. Don't enter to my territory.
Okay. Boundaries.
We are good.
Then we're okay.
We are okay. The issue is resolved. We are wrong. I don't use word wrong, by the way, always.
Okay.
Because it is again another definition. Maybe something wrong for me, but wrong not for you.
Right.
Maybe something good for you, but not good for me. So good, bad, right, wrong. I don't use these words. I only say that whatever your territory is, if we are interacting in certain capacity, first of all, we need to know that in which capacity we are relatives. We are relative in capacity of a working relationship. We are relative in terms of husband-wife relationship. We are in relation in terms of a colleague, boss, employee, employer. We need to understand that in which relation we are.
The dynamics behind it.
Yes, dynamics of the relation.
Okay.
Once we are unconsciously living, as I said before, we don't think before thinking. So we are not going to keep these boundaries. We are not going to understand that in what relationship I am with this guy. So I am definitely going to do something wrong, which might be not good for him. Right? So step one, understand in which relationship you are. Second, understand the boundaries and territory of the other person you are dealing with.
And respect it.
Of course. Once you will understand it, you will respect it. Once you don't understand, you will not respect it. You have to understand them. The third thing is make peace with it.
Wow. Now that is a huge one.
Yes. Make peace with it.
Ooh.
We don't make peace with ourselves. We don't make peace with our relations. We don't make peace with our memories. We don't make peace with our emotions. We don't make peace with our past.
How do we make peace with ourselves? And what are we fighting internally?
I'm trying to answer your questions in a way that it really makes a change. It's not a program. I don't take it as a program.
Right.
I take it as something to add value in people's life. That is what I do.
Right.
You ask me. So let me tell you now, how can you do it? Every human being has 6 human needs. This is going to change you. First of all, each one of us wants certainty in their life. I want to be certain about my profession. I want to be certain about my future. I want to be certain about my health. I want to be certain about the loyalty of my partner. I want to be certain in everything. That is first need of a human being.
Is that the same as wanting security?
Everyone has this need. If I ask you, you have the same need. If you ask me, I have the same need.
Right.
Everyone wants a certainty. This guy standing behind the camera wants to be a certain that you will not throw him out. He needs a certainty. Second thing is a little bit of uncertainty, some change. You don't want to be so certain that our life becomes so monotonous and robotic. You want a little bit of change, a little bit of uncertainty. That adds flavor to your life. We all want that. Third thing is love and connection. Each one of us wants to be loved.
Yeah.
And each one of us wants to love.
Basic
Each one of
human
us,
desire.
yes, each one of us wants to be connected basically. Connection. We want to connect with the people. We don't want to be lonely in our life. Third thing. Fourth thing, growth. Each one of us wants a growth in certain way, in relationship, in financial, in status, in promotions, in career, in profession. In any way we want growth. 4 things. 5th thing, most important thing, I need my own identification. Everyone wants a certain level of dignity, respect, identification. You don't want to be nobody. You want to be somebody. You know? So this is 5th need. And sixth need, what? Contribution. Each one of us has got this thing in our heart. We want to contribute. We want to help others. We want to give back to society. From where this thing comes, that why we are not happy, once we know these 6 human needs. Now the real formula comes. Once everybody has got this human needs, but there is a priority to that, which is different than me, different than you, different than him. For someone, certainty is the top priority.
Okay.
Uncertainty is not.
All right.
For someone, uncertainty is the priority, not the certainty. For someone, identification is most important than the love and connection. For someone, love and connection is the topmost priority, but not the growth. So these are 6. Make an algorithm of that. Each one of us got a different algorithm for these needs.
Can these priorities change?
With the practice? Yes, with the understanding.
Or sort of like as we grow, as we evolve unconsciously, can they change?
Yes, they can change. But first I want to tell you the importance of these priorities, these needs, then their priorities and their impact on your life. The other thing comes, okay, but the thing when go wrong, when I don't prioritize your priorities as a person, as a friend, as a colleague, as a partner, there the things go wrong. Yeah. You must have heard many times there are couples who are educated, understanding, decent in any way, well-grown, but even then they have problems. So why they have problem? They have problem because they don't know how to handle these 6 human needs and how to prioritize them and how to take care of those needs of somebody else. If I will not take care of those needs, what are your important needs, there is no way that we can work together.
And many times, as you have said this, we're not taking care of our own needs as a person.
In the first place.
So if we're not looking after ourselves, how can we think that we can go and,
This is how it is.
Yeah.
So first you need to understand your needs, you need to understand others' needs. Then you understand their priority of needs and you want to keep that priority at the top. Do not hurt someone by taking away their the topmost priority needs. And if you take care of this thing, everything is sorted.
Right. That is so sort of like mind-blowing, to understand these things, because these are things you just, unless you're reading about them or you're researching them, these are things that you come into everyday sort of contact. Okay, I'm going to sort of like shift gears here right now. Very, very valuable information that you have given us, Dr. Khalid. I wanted to talk about something that has for me also, and I know for you as well, this is a personal experience as well. You unfortunately lost your mother some time before. I unfortunately lost my son-in-law just 2 months ago to an accident. It was very sudden. And the emotions that come with grief and loss, how does a person navigate them? Will different people react differently? Will different people handle it differently? What should you do and what should you not do?
Very important question. Okay, let me put it in a very, 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 very easy way. There's a piece of cake. There's a full cake. Okay. Whatever cake you like, you can bring it in your mind. Till the time this cake is complete, it's beautiful, it is tasty, it is awesome. If you take one pie out of that cake, now the cake is not complete. That is out of that cake now. You have to live with it the rest of the cake. Just like that, we are completed in this world, not the other world I'm talking about physical world. We are completed by our relationships. We are completed by father. We are completed by mother. We are completed by sister. We are completed by our brother. Then we get married, we are completed by the family. The cake has got different parts and pies, right? You take away one of the pie, it is not there. Now it is a vacuum there. So that vacuum is going to be there. You cannot fill that vacuum. You have to first of all understand that thing. Acceptance. Once we don't accept something, it hurts us. It may take a year to understand. It may take 2 years to understand. It may take a lifetime to understand that you need to accept that I have to live with this vacuum at the first place. Now that is no more there. Step 1. Step 2. Now go back to the analogy I gave you before. Thinking, creating feeling. Now I'll add something. How you think, you visualize. Our mind thinks in pictures. Our mind thinks in video forms. There is a DVD which we are running in our brain most of the time. And that DVD which we are running in our brain, that is the thing which is creating a feeling all the time.
Yeah.
So you are a machine to create feeling, and machine has got a DVD behind that, which is running 24 hours, and we are creating certain types of feelings. Now I tell you the time has come to understand, because now you are an aware person. Now you know about that DVD. Now you know that how the brain functions. Now you know that how to think. So you need to change that DVD. Because our brain doesn't know what is the reality and what is the thinking. If you think something, you visualize something right now, I say you will have the same feeling.
Yeah.
Whereas this thing is not practically there. You think of a particular person, if you have associated some emotions with them, it's a good or a bad. You think of a person, you are there. If you have associated some emotions with thing or a place, think of that place, you are there. So your mind doesn't know it is real thing or a thought or a movie. That's what I want to prove here.
So interesting.
Right? If I take you back to we both are in that time that we have lived a life. If I take you back, there was a time when you used to think of a certain person and we were happy. We used to think certain incident, certain event, certain success story, and we were happy. Whereas that was not in a present time, it was just a visualization. But after some time we forgot to utilize that. We call it a mental faculty. God has given us the power of thinking, power of visualization.
Which is very intense with children. The visualization.
Yes, they visualize.
And
we were like that.
We lose it as we grow up.
Here you go. Here you go. If you get back that faculty back, you're good to go. I tell you an example and it will answer your question. My son is now 22, and at that time he was somewhere, if I recall it, 9 or 10. And at that time there was terrorism going on and everything. And once we were in this Jinnah Park with my family, we were walking, and all of a sudden his face goes pale. He's all of a sudden, something was happened to him and he's not normal. And I said, what happened to you? We are walking in a park. Something happened and he lost almost consciousness and he's just like out of senses. And I said, what happened? He's quiet. He's not speaking. We cancelled that place. We went to a guest room. We were living there, and I asked him, what happened? And he's not answering anything. I'm just looking at him. I'm thinking, what might have happened to him? What could have happened to him? After some time, I gave him a time. I created a rapport with him. He was sitting on, and I sat with him, came on his level. And he just gave me a hint that he is visualizing somebody attacking us. Why? Because he saw a news on television somewhere. It's a very deeper topic, but I'm trying to just make it an easy. He saw something when we were in Jinnah. We stood for a while in McDonald's, and in McDonald's there was some news going on TV channel. There's some attack in those days there were lots of attacks being
Yeah,
happened in
yeah.
different places. And all of a sudden he saw that news and it just went into his unconscious mind, triggered something, and he got so worried that he thought that we are being attacked. Now he visualized something, that somebody has come over and he has made our parents hostage, as the news was going from somewhere else.
Right.
Now his mind just all of a sudden hooked to that news, and he changed the characters of that news with his own parents and his own self. And he felt it helpless. The moment he felt helpless, and his visualization is going on, and
Panic.
he is gone. He got a panic attack. I found it.
Right.
Now in such situation you cannot handle someone if you don't know how to handle.
Of course.
So what I understood, that I needed to change his visualization. I could not tell him to don't do this. He will do it. So I needed to change the visualization, the story he was running behind his head. So I changed the story. I told him, okay, fine, it is done, okay. You cannot undo the story once he's running in his mind and he's into that state. So you need to do something immediately. You have to do, otherwise he's gone the way he was going. And I changed the story. I said, if your father is a hero, just imagine your father is a hero. He's not an ordinary man. He has guns. He has already played with the guns. He can. And you are also a hero. Now tell me, if somebody comes, what your father is going to do with them. Can your father let them touch you? Can your father let them do something with your family? And then I took him with that story, and he was changing that story with my commands. And now he recreated a story.
Okay.
That we have killed them now, we are the winners, we are powerful, we are okay. And all of a sudden he started changing the story.
He's controlling the narrative
He coming
now.
back. He started
Right.
coming back. So that was the one story of my own family. And now sometime we talk and we just look back to those memories. We have a lot of such stories. So I was telling you that how to handle grief. It is to changing the story behind that. Because first we don't accept it, then we run a DVD of them with all the associated emotions, and we always again and again and again go into the same emotion and same pain. So you don't need to revisit that memory. You cannot block it. You cannot delete it. If somebody says, okay, don't think it, he's wrong. You need to replace it.
Okay.
Try it now. Just now, if you replace it with the same person, with a different imagination, your different emotions would come up. It is actually how your brain or mind sciences works. It works with the recreating stories inside your head. We have already created stories. We are already living our stories. And we are already dying every day with the same story. I'm just telling you not to do something. Change your story.
Whereas we have control,
You have.
but we just don't realize
You
it.
just don't realize that. You have a control. If I tell you right now, I tell you, okay, close your eyes and think where you are. You are in a beautiful place and you are with your mother, if you have a related to mother or your whatever relation you have lost. If I can take you there, but I can take you there with the new story. And if you are there, if I tell you that you are living together, you are talking to each other, and she is very happy to talk to you, how will you feel? Your feeling would start changing. You know, another beautiful example. I'm talking more, you're talking less right now.
I'm listening. I'm listening. It's very, very important.
The most amazing thing I ever had gone through in my life, that was an exercise, timeline exercise.
Okay.
We call it a timeline exercise. I would love someday you have that. I have experienced that.
Okay.
I was in America and Tony Robbins does that. And now I do. It is something like that, taking you year by year back to your past and meeting your past self. How beautiful the concept is. If I tell you, I'm just telling you, but it is doing actually, with the hypnosis and all that. It is doing things that, if you have a problem the year 2019, and in 2019 you were of a certain age. So if I take you back to 2019 and tell yourself and imagine and visualize that, okay, you are meeting your 2019 self, you are shaking hand with her. If I tell you, okay, go back to 2010 and meet yourself like this, talk to each other, and tell yourself that, look, I am your future self, and see how beautiful I am still, see how powerful I am, and you're going to make peace with your past.
Wow.
That's the concept.
Making peace with your past.
Okay, you asked me that how to make a peace with your past. You're not making a peace because you left your past there. It has not come up to this. You have become older, but your past self is standing there frozen.
Wow.
You got it?
Fascinating.
I take you to your past. I make you to
Basically,
meet
you
your...
and what do you say? You say, "You're okay. I forgive you." I don't know. What is it? What are we doing with our past selves?
Okay.
Are we blaming ourselves?
No. We're not blaming. We're not. We are having conversation with them. Like
No.
this.
What I mean is that when we go back to our past self,
Yes.
you know, so many times you're thinking about the mistakes you made in life.
Of
And
course.
the wrong decisions you made, or you think that I could have done this much better.
You're there now.
Okay, I had this choice in my life. Maybe I should have taken that path instead of this path. So I think in a lot of that we need to forgive ourselves as well in our past
Of
life.
course, it
Yeah?
is. It is. Why somebody gets upset about anything? There are only few of reasons, not much more. One, first of all, we go into regret.
Regret.
We go into guilt.
Oh.
We go into jealousy. We envy somebody. There are not much of things. There are very few. We don't accept it actually. So what happens is, in past, present, or whatever, we do the same thing. Either we are regretting something, either we are into a guilt of something, either we are jealous of something. You have to understand that we are here in this world for a very limited time, with limited resources, with limited powers.
Make the best of it.
It is changing inside you.
Yeah.
When you will change this perception, we are here for a limited time, we are here for limited powers, we are with limited resources, things would be different. Once we are already limited, so how can we claim to do something which we are unable to do?
Which sort of is contentment as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is coming to that level. It is the step by step moving towards that thing. There are two things. One is fundamentally something to change and something on the surface to change. I work on something which is on the foundation. If that is changed, the surface itself would
Automatically.
change. If I tell you, okay, you should start contentment. How can you start once your foundation is not right? By saying you cannot do it. You need to change something behind it. So I'm talking about that behind, that you need to get out of the regrets, you have to come out of the guilt, you have to get into the gratitude. Now
Wow.
it is the surface thing I'm talking.
That word,
Right?
gratitude.
You have to start with the gratitude,
Oh.
you have to start with appreciation, you have to start with acceptance. And then the contentment will automatically will come. We are
Imagine.
trying to do those things which we are not supposed to do it, they are supposed to come. My concept, when I said I'll change your myths and beliefs, I meant to say that our basic understanding about the things is wrong. I said you don't handle emotions, you create emotions.
And that was
It's our perception.
very eye-opening for me.
Okay? Contentment is not done. It happens. Once you fulfill other things, it is going
It's
to come.
automatically going to be the end result.
Yes.
Right.
Fifth thing, make right choices. Today, whatever you are, it is because of your past choices and decisions. And tomorrow what you are going to be, it is because of your today's choices. If you're not changing your choices and decisions now and expecting different results, you're wrong. You're getting the same results for the last 30, 40, 50 years. And I tell you, okay, change the results. You cannot. I'll tell you, change the actions. I'll tell you, change the choices. I'll tell you, change the beliefs. I'll tell you, change the habits. I'll tell you, change the thinking. And the result would change.
You're going back in those steps.
Once we don't go there and you want to change the results, you cannot result.
There's no quick fix.
No one can change the result.
You have to go to the actual essence.
Plus, another thing, you need to understand your part of the life. Something you can do about it, something you cannot do about it. This is the difference you need to understand. When we want to do everything, we are wrong. Here we go wrong. You cannot do anything. You cannot do everything. You can only do your part. If we understand our part, look, my father is left behind when my mother went. Every day I think of him. Now, when they were living together with me, my mother gone, now he has gone back to previous place because he has old friends with him. And I always think, what is my part in it? I want to put everything right, but I cannot. I cannot make him younger again. I cannot stop. He is going towards death or end of life. I cannot stop. But I can take my part.
Right.
Only.
Absolutely.
I can do something about it, but not everything about it.
So the things that you can't control, you must
You
not
have to let go.
Let go. Well, that is an amazing word
now,
as well.
Let me put everything in line for you and for the audience so they understand.
We're approaching the end of the program, so if you can give them a message as well through this, which is very, very important.
I'm trying, since then I'm trying to put things in, steps and words so people can understand what to do about it. First of all, accept. Accept yourself, whatever you are. Accept others, the way they are. Accept all those people who have gone. Accept all those people who think they are going to come. So first thing is acceptance. Second is gratitude. Whatever you have, whatever you had, you should always pay your gratitude. Things will change. Third, change your thinking. The way you have been thinking and you got a different result and you did not like the result, don't try to change the result. Change the thinking. And everything will change. Then is contribute in others' life. If you will contribute in any way in people's life, you will have happiness. There's no way that you're
satisfaction.
Add value to people's life.
Of course.
You should always have a goal to add value to people's life. In any way. Whatever way you can, financially, physically, emotionally, by your talks, by your motivation, by your actions, whatever way.
Something selfless.
Yes, your goal should be to add value in
to other people's lives. That is
how
absolutely wonderful. Dr. Khalid, we have so much to talk about, and unfortunately we are out of time. We will be looking forward to having another program with you sometime in the near future where we can talk about all the things we've missed today, but what we have spoken about, I would say, is so valuable, so important for the viewers as well. So thank you so much for being such a great guest.
Most welcome. It's such a deeper topic that we can talk on and about that.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, with that we come to the end of today's program. What an amazing and mind-blowing program it has been. So many things to take away right now. Emotional health, controlling your thoughts, thinking before thinking. I mean, who does that? Let's make a sort of a pact that we are more mindful of these things. So until next week, see you then. Stay happy, stay healthy. Bye-bye.